Have you ever wondered why, even on days when nothing is physically wrong, you still feel heavy, drained, like your thoughts are suffocating you? You wake up and before your feet even touch the floor, your mind is already crowded, replaying yesterday's mistakes, worrying about tomorrow's problems, and drowning in noise you didn't ask for. The truth is, it's not your life that's exhausting you. It's your mind. Most people spend their entire lives carrying mental clutter they never even notice. Thoughts pile up like dust in a room you never clean, and over time, they block the light, the joy, and the clarity you desperately need. But here's the secret. You don't have to live like this. A clear mind is not some rare gift. It's a daily practice, a choice you make every single day. And in this video, I'm going to guide you through powerful, actionable steps to help you let go of the noise, reclaim your mental space, and live with a clarity so sharp, it will feel like you've been seeing the world through fog until now. So stay with me until the end. Because the version of you who walks away from this video will never think the same way again. 1. Detach from noise. Your mind is like a deep, clear lake. When undisturbed, it mirrors the world above and reveals the treasures hidden below. But every time a stone of distraction is thrown in, ripples spread, distorting the view and muddying the depths. The noise we face today isn't just literal sound. It's the endless chatter of the digital age, the pull of 1,000 open tabs in your brain, and the constant demands on your attention from people, devices, and obligations. It's the relentless news cycle, the addictive refresh button, the unsolicited opinions from strangers online, and even the unspoken pressures from those around you. Over time, all this noise buries your inner clarity under a thick layer of static. Detaching from noise is not about running away from life. It's about reclaiming control over what enters your mental space. It means setting boundaries on when and how you engage with the outside world, curating your inputs the same way you'd filter the water you drink. It's choosing moments of intentional stillness. No screens, no chatter, no mental multitasking. These pauses create breathing room for your mind, allowing it to untangle thoughts, calm emotions, and make sense of what truly matters. When you reduce the noise, something powerful happens. Your intuition grows sharper, your creativity flows more easily, and your emotional resilience strengthens. Problems that felt overwhelming suddenly become solvable because your thinking is no longer clouded. You respond instead of react. You notice details you'd normally miss. And most importantly, you reconnect with the voice inside you that actually knows the answers. The voice that gets drowned out when the world is too loud. Do this daily, even for just a short window of time, and you'll find yourself moving through life with more focus, more calm, and more power. Because silence isn't empty. It's full of the wisdom you've been too distracted to hear. And once you learn to detach from noise, you won't just think more clearly. You'll live more intentionally. 2. Recognize the weight you don't see. Not all burdens are physical. Some of the heaviest weights we carry are invisible. The mental clutter, emotional baggage, and unspoken worries that live rent-free in our minds. These weights don't make your shoulders ache, but they slow your steps, dim your focus, and drain your energy without you even realizing it. It's the unresolved conflicts you've been avoiding, the self-doubt you keep pushing aside, the lingering regret over something you can't change, and the constant low-level anxiety that hums in the background of your day. Over time, this hidden load becomes so familiar that you mistake it for a part of who you are. But it's not. It's baggage, and it can be set down. Recognizing the weight you don't see starts with intentional self-awareness. It's pausing to ask yourself, what's really bothering me beneath the surface? Often, what feels like stress from work is actually fear of failure. What feels like annoyance with someone might be an unspoken hurt, and what feels like just tiredness might be emotional burnout. The moment you name these hidden weights, you give yourself the power to address them. You can confront that fear, express that hurt, forgive yourself for that mistake, and finally take steps toward healing. When you fail to identify these invisible burdens, they silently shape your choices, your moods, and your relationships. But when you recognize them, you regain control. You start to notice how much lighter you feel when you release them, and how much more clearly you can think when your mind isn't tangled with unprocessed thoughts. This isn't just about mental clarity. It's about emotional freedom. Because when you let go of the weight you didn't even know you were carrying, you discover how much further and faster you can move toward the life you want. 3. Declutter your inner space. Just like a room filled with unnecessary objects can make it hard to move freely, a mind packed with too many thoughts, worries, and distractions can keep you from thinking clearly. Every unprocessed emotion, every unresolved problem, every "I'll deal with it later" thought is like another piece of mental furniture crowding your inner space. You might not notice the weight of each item individually, but together they make your mental world feel cramped, chaotic, and exhausting. Decluttering your inner space isn't about emptying your mind completely. It's about creating room for the thoughts that actually matter. Start by identifying what's taking up space without adding value. Maybe it's replaying past mistakes, worrying about things you can't control, or overanalyzing every small decision. These mental habits don't serve you. They simply drain your focus and energy. When you recognize them for what they are, you can choose to gently set them aside. One powerful way to do this is through daily reflection. Whether you use journaling, meditation, or even a quiet walk, give yourself space to sort your thoughts. Imagine taking each one out, holding it up to the light, and asking, does this help me grow? Does this need my attention now? If not, release it. The more consistently you do this, the more you'll notice mental clarity becoming your default state. You'll think faster, make decisions with more confidence, and have more emotional energy for the people and goals that matter most. And here's the truth. A clear mind is not a luxury. It's a necessity if you want to live intentionally. When you declutter your inner space, you stop living reactively and start moving through life with purpose. You begin each day with a mental workspace wide open, ready for creativity, problem-solving, and genuine peace. That's when you stop feeling overwhelmed and start feeling in control of your life again. 4. Embrace the power of stillness. Stillness is one of the most underrated yet transformative forces you can invite into your life. In a world obsessed with speed, noise, and constant stimulation, stillness feels almost unnatural at first, as if you're wasting time by doing nothing. But the truth is, stillness isn't the absence of action. It's the foundation that makes your actions more focused, intentional, and effective. When you allow yourself to be still, you create a rare opportunity to tune out the external noise and tune in to your own thoughts, emotions, and intuition. You stop reacting to the demands of the world and start responding from a place of inner clarity. In those quiet moments, your mind begins to process what it's been holding on to. Stress, confusion, or even inspiration waiting to surface. This is where solutions to your biggest challenges often appear, not because you forced them, but because you gave them the space to reveal themselves. Practicing stillness doesn't require hours of meditation or an isolated retreat. Although those can help, it can be as simple as sitting in silence for 5 minutes in the morning before the day begins, breathing deeply, and allowing your thoughts to settle like sediment in a glass of water. It can mean pausing before responding to a tense conversation so you can speak from wisdom instead of impulse. It can mean walking without headphones, letting your senses absorb the world around you. Over time, embracing stillness builds mental resilience. It teaches you to stay calm in chaos, to think clearly when emotions run high, and to avoid being pulled into the endless current of distractions. You stop feeling like life is dragging you forward uncontrollably, and instead, you begin to move through it with presence and power. Stillness is not about doing less. It's about doing what matters most from a place of alignment. When you cultivate it daily, you don't just clear your mind, you sharpen it. And in that clarity, you rediscover your ability to create, decide, and live with purpose. 5. Reset your mind daily. Every single day, whether you realize it or not, your mind is under constant attack. It's not just the obvious stressors like work deadlines or financial pressure. It's the endless stream of small, unnoticed burdens. A short comment someone made that didn't sit right with you. A social media post that triggered comparison. The unfinished tasks that haunt the back of your mind. The subtle anxiety of keeping up with the pace of the world. None of these disappear on their own. They layer on top of each other like invisible dust, clouding your thoughts, draining your focus, and weighing on your spirit. Without a daily reset, your mind becomes like a cluttered attic, full of forgotten junk you don't even realize you're carrying, but heavy enough to slow you down in everything you do. Imagine waking up tomorrow carrying not just the weight of today, but the past week, the past month, maybe even the past year, all because you never paused to unload. That's what happens when you let your mind run without maintenance. Just as you wouldn't drive your car forever without stopping for fuel or service, you can't expect your mind to perform at its best without intentionally clearing it. A reset is not optional if you want mental clarity. It's the maintenance that keeps your brain functioning, like a precision instrument instead of a jammed, rusty machine. Think of it like this. Your mind is a workspace. At the start of the day, it should be clean, organized, ready for action. But if you keep letting random files, spilled coffee, and scraps of unfinished work pile up, eventually there's no room to think. The daily reset is your end-of-day cleanup. Your chance to wipe the slate clean so that tomorrow you don't wake up already behind. It's about giving yourself permission to let go, to put things down, and to start again with energy that isn't poisoned by yesterday. Resetting doesn't have to be complex or time-consuming. It could be a nightly journal where you pour out your thoughts without judgment, so your brain doesn't need to replay them on a loop while you sleep. It could be morning meditation, where you anchor your thoughts before the day can scatter them. It could be an afternoon walk where you disconnect from your phone and let your mind drift into stillness. Even sitting in complete silence for 10 minutes can feel like hitting the refresh button in your head. The key is consistency, making this as essential to your day as eating or sleeping. Over time, this habit changes you. You start responding instead of reacting. Your thoughts become sharper. Your creativity flows more easily, and you feel grounded no matter how chaotic your surroundings get. People may not know what's different about you, but they'll notice the calm in your eyes, the focus in your voice, and the quiet confidence in your actions. And it's all because you've learned how to control the most important environment you'll ever live in. The one inside your own mind. A daily mental reset is not about running away from life's problems. It's about strengthening yourself to face them with clarity, intention, and control. It's a declaration. I refuse to let the noise of the world own my thoughts. When you commit to it, you reclaim your mental space. And once you own your mind, you own your life. 6. Guard your mental space. Every day, countless things fight for entry into your mental space. Conversations, news headlines, notifications, random thoughts, other people's emotions, and even your own worries. If you don't guard that space, it becomes an open market where anything and anyone can dump their noise, opinions, and problems. The truth is, your mind is your most valuable real estate. Once you let just anything settle in there, it's no surprise you start feeling drained, unfocused, and overwhelmed. Guarding your mental space isn't about isolation. It's about selective access. Deciding what gets in, what stays out, and what absolutely cannot linger. Picture your mental space as a garden. If you don't fence it, weeds will grow, pests will wander in, and before you know it, the beauty you've been cultivating will be choked out by things you never wanted. Guarding your mind means building that fence. Saying no to conversations that add no value, avoiding content that fuels anxiety, distancing yourself from people who constantly dump negativity on you. It's about protecting your energy as if your life depends on it. Because in many ways, it does. One powerful way to guard your mental space is to become intentional about your inputs. Ask yourself, what am I letting in today? The music you listen to, the videos you watch, the accounts you follow, the people you talk to. All of them are planting seeds in your mind. And here's the catch. You can't control what grows unless you control what gets planted. This is why your attention is a currency. Spend it carelessly, and you'll go broke mentally. Spend it wisely, and your mental bank account will overflow with focus, peace, and creativity. Guarding your mental space also means mastering the art of silence. Not every message needs a reply. Not every provocation needs your reaction. Not every opportunity is worth your time. The moment you realize that your energy is finite, you start choosing your battles. And more importantly, you start choosing when to walk away. This isn't weakness, it's power. You're no longer letting the world dictate your state of mind. You decide how, when, and to whom you give your mental attention. And here's the transformation. When you actively guard your mental space, you feel lighter, more focused, and more in control. The fog in your head clears, your mood stabilizes, and your sense of direction sharpens. You're no longer a sponge soaking up every emotion and thought around you. You become the architect of your own mental world. That's when your life stops feeling like a constant reaction to chaos and starts feeling like a deliberate creation. 7. Breathe with intention. Breathing is something you've done since the day you were born. Yet most people go their entire lives without truly realizing the power it holds. The way you breathe can either anchor you in the present moment or leave you trapped in stress, anxiety, and mental clutter. Breathing with intention means making your breath more than just a biological process. It becomes a tool for focus, clarity, and emotional balance. Think about it. Every time you're overwhelmed, your breathing naturally becomes shallow and rapid. Your body interprets that as a signal that something is wrong, which keeps your mind in a heightened state of alert. But the moment you slow your breathing, deepen each inhale, and release each exhale fully, you send your body a different message. You are safe, you are calm, you are in control. That single shift can change how you think, how you feel, and even how you respond to challenges. When you breathe with intention, you're not just taking in oxygen, you're actively directing your awareness. Each inhale becomes a conscious decision to fill your body with energy and focus. Each exhale becomes an opportunity to let go of tension, negative thoughts, and emotional baggage you don't need to carry. It's a physical act that directly influences your mental state. Try this. Close your eyes and take a slow, deep breath in through your nose for a count of 4. Hold it gently for a count of 4. Then exhale fully through your mouth for a count of 6. Repeat this for a few minutes. You'll notice that your thoughts slow down, your shoulders drop, and your heart rate steadies. That's because you've taken control of your inner environment, using nothing but your breath. The beauty of intentional breathing is that it's available to you anywhere, anytime. You don't need special equipment. You don't need a perfect setting. All you need is awareness. Do it in the morning to set the tone for the day. Do it before a big meeting to steady your nerves. Do it at night to release the day's weight before you sleep. The more you practice, the more natural it becomes, and soon you'll notice that intentional breathing becomes your go-to reset button whenever life gets overwhelming. This isn't just a relaxation trick. It's a daily discipline. When you train your mind to connect with your breath, you give yourself the power to pause before reacting, to think clearly under pressure, and to navigate life with a steady, unshakable presence. It's a small habit, but its impact is massive. 8. Rewrite your inner story. Every single person walks through life carrying a story in their mind, a narrative about who they are, what they're capable of, and what the world is like. This story isn't just words. It's the lens through which you see everything. If that lens is scratched with self-doubt, fear, and limiting beliefs, then no matter what opportunities you encounter, you'll always see reasons why you can't succeed. That's why one of the most powerful ways to clear your mind is to take control of your inner story and rewrite it. For many people, that inner story wasn't consciously chosen. It's been shaped over years by parents, teachers, friends, failures, heartbreaks, and society's expectations. Maybe you were told you're not smart enough, not talented enough, not strong enough. Maybe you've failed a few times and decided that's just how things go for you. Without realizing it, those words and experiences became the script you repeat to yourself, day after day. And here's the hard truth. If you keep rehearsing that same script, you'll keep living the same life. Rewriting your inner story begins with awareness. You have to step back and actually listen to how you speak to yourself in your own mind. Do you call yourself lazy, unlucky, unworthy? Or do you acknowledge your strengths, your growth, and your potential? Once you see the script for what it is, you gain the power to challenge it. You begin asking, is this really true? Or is it just a belief I've been carrying for years? That question alone cracks the door open for change. From there, you create a new narrative, one that's grounded in self-compassion, possibility, and resilience. This doesn't mean lying to yourself or pretending life is perfect. It means choosing a perspective that empowers you rather than traps you. Instead of, I've always been bad with money, you tell yourself, I'm learning to manage money better every day. Instead of, I can't handle stress, you rewrite it as, I'm building the strength to stay calm under pressure. Those shifts might sound small, but repeated daily, they reshape your identity at its core. The beauty of rewriting your story is that it changes more than just your thoughts. It changes your actions. When you truly believe you are capable, you start taking steps you once avoided. You start saying yes to opportunities you used to fear. You start carrying yourself differently, speaking differently, and making choices that align with your new identity. Over time, your life begins to match the new story you've been telling yourself. This is a lifelong process. You'll still hear echoes of the old script sometimes, but each time you catch them and replace them with your chosen narrative, you strengthen the new version. And with every repetition, you're not just clearing your mind. You're reclaiming authorship over your life. You become the writer, the editor, and the main character of your own journey. 9. Live fully in the present. Your mind can become like an overstuffed attic, filled with boxes of old memories you no longer need, stacks of regrets you've been meaning to throw away, and broken dreams you've kept just in case. Every step you take is slowed by this mental clutter, and the present moment, the only space where life actually happens, becomes nothing more than a narrow path you shuffle through on your way to somewhere else. You might be sitting at dinner with someone you love, but instead of tasting the food or hearing their laughter, you're lost inside yesterday's mistakes or tomorrow's fears. That's how life slips past unnoticed. Not with a bang, but with a quiet, constant distraction. To clean your mind daily is to make a sacred choice, to stop letting the ghosts of the past and the shadows of the future steal the light of today. It's like opening the windows of a dusty room and letting sunlight pour in, chasing out the stale air. It's deciding that every morning you will sweep away yesterday's arguments, wipe down the stains of old pain, and toss out the mental scraps that serve no purpose. Without this daily cleaning, your mind becomes a crowded, noisy place, and no one can live peacefully in noise. Living fully in the present is an act of rebellion in a world addicted to distraction. It's not just about noticing your breath or savoring a sip of coffee, though those are powerful starts. It's about reclaiming the steering wheel of your own awareness. It's looking into someone's eyes and really hearing them instead of half listening while composing your next reply. It's watching the sky shift colors at sunset without rushing to capture it for social media. It's reading a page in a book without glancing at your phone every 3 sentences. These moments are not meaningless pauses. They are the heartbeat of a life truly lived. And when you clean your mind daily, something remarkable happens. The present no longer feels fragile or fleeting. It becomes a place you can rest in, a place of clarity, calm, and depth. The heaviness of your thoughts lifts because you are no longer carrying every mistake, every worry, and every fear at once. You see the world sharper, not because it changed, but because your mental window is finally clear. Opportunities don't just pass by unnoticed. You meet them face to face. Beauty doesn't hide. It stands right in front of you, waiting for you to notice. Make this a non-negotiable ritual. Wake up each day and clear the debris from your mental space. Release grudges before they harden into bitterness. Let go of what you can't control before it robs you of your peace. And remind yourself as often as you can that the present moment is not just a passage of time. It's the stage where your life story is unfolding. Clean the space so you can watch it with eyes wide open, so you can live it in full, vivid color, without the haze of unnecessary thought. Because when your mind is clean, the world doesn't just look brighter. You become brighter. 10. Design your mind's refuge. Life rarely gives you space. It takes it. It barges in without knocking, without asking, bringing with it a storm of noise and demands. The moment you open your eyes, it starts. Messages stacked in your inbox before you've even taken your first breath. Notifications buzzing like impatient hands tapping on your shoulder. Headlines screaming for your outrage. Opinions, loud, sharp, endless, flooding in from people you barely know and some you wish you didn't. And amidst all that chaos, the most dangerous voice is often the quiet one inside your head, whispering doubts, replaying regrets, questioning your worth. This flood isn't harmless background noise. It's invasive. It creeps in thread by thread, weaving itself into your thoughts until your own voice gets buried under the static. Your focus scatters. Your decisions bend under invisible pressures, and without realizing it, you lose the clarity that once made you feel grounded. The mind that was meant to be your sanctuary becomes a crowded hallway. Anyone can walk through, track in their dirt, rearrange your priorities, and leave their baggage behind. That is why cleaning your mind daily isn't just a wellness tip, it's survival. You are not simply sweeping away mental dust. You are reclaiming ownership over the most valuable space you will ever have. Picture your mind as the most beautiful, irreplaceable home you'll ever live in. Would you let strangers stomp across the floors with muddy boots? Would you let them toss trash in your kitchen or graffiti your walls? Would you leave the door unlocked for every opinion, complaint, or criticism to drift inside? Of course not. Yet many of us do exactly that every day, not physically, but mentally. We let negativity settle in the corners. We let the heavy furniture of fear and self-doubt clutter our living room. We even let the wrong voices rearrange our sense of self until we barely recognize it. Cleaning your mind daily is your way of saying, "This is my space, and I decide what lives here." It's not about pretending the world is quiet. It's about creating a boundary that keeps the noise from owning you. It's about intentionally curating what gets to stay. Courage instead of fear, clarity instead of confusion, focus instead of distraction, gratitude instead of resentment. And cleaning is only half the process. The other half is planting. You can't simply throw out the garbage. You have to fill the space with life. Build mental rituals the way an architect builds a home, deliberately, brick by brick. Morning stillness to anchor you before the world starts pulling. Breathing practices that return you to the present when your thoughts start to scatter. Journaling to untangle emotions before they grow into storms. Feeding your mind with uplifting books, meaningful conversations, and ideas that make you stronger, not smaller. And then, guard the entrance. A thought knocking on the door is not permission to enter. A person speaking to you is not a requirement to absorb their energy. At first, the shift will be subtle. You'll notice certain triggers losing their grip. You'll feel less urgency to react to every spark of drama. Your patience will deepen. Your focus will sharpen, and your emotions will stop swinging wildly with every gust of outside wind. Eventually, you'll realize something powerful. You're no longer living at the mercy of the noise. You're choosing the weather inside your own mind. And that choice changes everything. Your calm will no longer be fragile. It will be unshakable. People around you will sense it. They'll wonder how you hold your composure when situations crumble. They'll notice that your smile isn't a mask. It's real, rooted in an inner stillness they can't quite explain. That is the true magic of cleaning your mind daily. It's not just tidying up stray thoughts. It's fortifying your inner fortress. It's making peace not a fleeting guest, but a permanent resident. And when the storms rage outside, you'll stand knowing, no matter how loud the world becomes, nothing can breach the sanctuary you've built. At the end of the day, your mind is the one place you will live for the rest of your life. You can't sell it, you can't trade it, and you can't escape it. So it's worth making it a place of peace, strength, and clarity. Every moment you spend cleaning your mind is an investment in the quality of your life, your relationships, and your future. Don't wait for the chaos to die down before you act. Take control now, one day at a time. And if this message resonated with you, don't just listen, live it. Start cleaning your mind today and keep showing up for it tomorrow. And if you're ready for more daily clarity and mental strength, hit subscribe and let's build that unshakable mind together.